I'm very excited to bring you once again a proper fragrance review, and this time about Guerlain's Tobacco Honey. Is it worth it? Let's find out. Hi everyone, I'm Guerlain from Scented Moments channel, where I help you to discover the amazing world of perfumery. So in this video I will do a fragrance review. It's been at least 2 years since I did my last fragrance review, and that's something that I really want to return doing, a fragrance review, not only record and upload fragrance lists, which although I love doing them, but I also miss this more simple and dedicated video only about a specific perfume. And yes, this is about Tobacco Honey, very recently released, part of the La Métier. This is a 200 ml bottle size. You also have 100 ml. The price it's really high. It's in the 455 if I'm not mistaken, and the 100 ml is around 290 to 300. It's super expensive, and before Guerlain reshaped this La Métier line, before you had these bottles. The bottles were looking like so. This is Cuir Beluga. This is just an example, 75 ml, and the price was 204. Yes, huge difference. I loved these bottles, really chic, very elegant. And this line, La Métier, they all were always on the sweeter side of things. So you had the infamous Spiritueuse de Vanille. I mean, Guerlain is one of the best brands in terms of vanilla. I mean, if you want vanilla perfumes, you go to Guerlain first. You have Spiritueuse de Vanille, which actually I'm not a huge fan of. I think it's not great because to me, on my skin, I get this dry bubble gum, which is really weird, but simply doesn't work on my skin, unfortunately. I love vanilla. I recently did a video about my favorite vanilla fragrances, so I'll leave the link in the description box down below so you can check out. But I love Angélique Noir. Even Cuir Beluga has a nice vanilla note. Shalimar, of course. I mean, you name it. Guerlain really has a lot of fantastic vanilla perfumes, and this line had them all in terms of vanilla. And this line was always more about the sweet, resinous, ambery, more silky. Although they were sweet, but they were not overly aggressive or harsh. They were always very smooth. So it was really a line that it deviated from what Guerlain once was in terms of that classic French perfumery. And with La Métier, Guerlain also had two other exclusive lines. One was the Elixir de Charnel, and this one is Gourmand Coquin, which is one of my favorite Gourmand fragrances ever. This perfume is magical. And I'm very happy to see that Guerlain will re-release Gourmand Coquin as Fève Gourmand, part of the La Métier, and will come in a bottle like this. So I'm very excited about that. I mean, I'm very happy to see that Guerlain is re-release this beautiful, delicious, sexy gourmand fragrance. So you had Elixir de Charnel, also 75 ml, also 204 euros. And then you have Le Frenchy, I think Frenchy. I think the line is Frenchy, where you had Derby, and all the bottles looked like this, but in different colors. Like here, the wooden rim was always different, like the colors. So you had Derby, which is amazing, an amazing classic Chypre. I absolutely love this one. You also had Chamade, Le Frenchy. So you had really a lot of perfumes in that line as well, but this line was definitely the most classic one. This was more Guerlain style. But a year ago or 2 years ago, Guerlain decided to just join all these three exclusive lines into one, La Métier, and they also changed the name of the perfumes that were part of the Frenchy collection and Elixir de Chanel. I mean, Guerlain really does that frequently. So yeah, there's that. So that's just the background of how this line is currently, and what is the origin and how the La Matière was thought. So La Matière again was that more sweet oriental, ambery but smooth and silky type of line. Coming to Tobacco Honey. So Tobacco Honey, I was very excited and skeptical because I love this type of perfume. I love sweet tobacco fragrances, and that's all because of Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille is like one of my all-time favorite perfumes. I consider that to be a masterpiece, and actually it is a groundbreaking perfume because Tobacco Vanille was released in 2007, part of the original Private Blend collection of Tom Ford, and since Tobacco Vanille you start to have a lot of sweet tobacco fragrances inspired by Tobacco Vanille. Of course, different, maybe they would add some other notes, or maybe the vanilla would be more prominent, or would be the tobacco more prominent. So there would definitely have some deviations from Tobacco Vanille, but in the end, they are all part of this genre of sweet tobacco fragrances. So I was excited because of that, but at the same time I was skeptical because, I mean, wow, Guerlain is like 10 years late, and it is. Guerlain is really 10 years late with this type of DNA, because just think, Tobacco Vanille was released in 2007, and then you had Naxos, you have Herod, which were released like in Naxos, I think it was in 2014, 15, so already a long time ago. Herod the same. I think Herod was released in 2012 if I'm not mistaken, but it's around in the early 2010s. And I mean, Guerlain is releasing this year 2023 Tobacco Honey. Okay, what Guerlain can bring to the table that it's not being done before? So that's why I was a bit skeptical. And honestly, the latest releases from Guerlain of this line, that it's not like the brand new releases, like their Oud line, the Oud Nude, Oud Cherry, and Oud something. They released 3 Oud perfumes last year, part of the La Matière. Not great. I think there was another one that it was also, but I think it was more the Ouds. I think it's the Ouds that were really new. The other ones are more re-releases. And this one, for example, Fève Gourmand is a re-release of Gourmand Coquin. And so Tobacco Honey is really a brand new release from Guerlain for the La Matière. Is this good? Is this worth it? Of course, that's very subjective. First of all, yes, the price. I already told you the price of this perfume is expensive. It's 450 or 55 euros. It's a lot. It's really a lot for a perfume bottle. So it's really subjective in terms of the pricing. I mean, in my opinion, I think this is it's overpriced, in my opinion. But so is honestly, so is the entire La Matière. I love La Matière. I love Guerlain. I love their exclusive. I have quite a few, but currently they are overpriced. So are the majority of the perfumes nowadays. I mean, the perfume industry, the prices in the perfume industry is really obnoxious currently, unfortunately. But Tobacco Honey, how it smells like, does it last? Is it really worth even sampling it? Now, Tobacco Honey, as soon as I sprayed this one, I was like, okay, it's amazing. But it's amazing, but so I love the opening. The opening is this amazing, realistic, sweet, sexy, natural smelling honey. And honey is actually, I would say, it's the most prominent note of Tobacco Honey. I think this could be honey tobacco, although it doesn't sound as good as Tobacco Honey. But honey is definitely the most prominent note here, and it's really one of the best honey accords that I smelled in a perfume. It's simply amazing. It's sticky. It has that syrupiness. It's really, and it's realistic. It's not harsh. It's not like overly sweet. It's not. It's really done to perfection. It's a fantastic honey, and it's all you will get, like a blast of honey, followed by cloves. Very mild touch of cloves, but you have that aromatic spiciness right after that initial blast of honey. And so I was like, okay, this is really good. But I was very curious to see how this would develop, because I wanted to smell also the tobacco, and I also wanted to see how this would develop, if it would add something new. So this, after that initial 5 minutes, it starts to remind me of Tobacco Honey by Tom Ford. And I was like, okay, I mean, I like Tobacco Honey, but I already have Tobacco Honey. I don't need another Tobacco Honey. So it kind of reminds me a bit of Tobacco Honey, not, I would say, without those dried fruits, sweet dried fruits that Tobacco Honey has, but it reminded me a bit of Tobacco Honey. But okay, let's see how this will develop. Then after 1 hour, the tobacco started to show. Oh man, and it's amazing. It's like that dry tobacco leaves. Amazing, fantastic, really, like dry tobacco leaves with the honey and the clove. Whoa, really good, really good. I still had that Tobacco Honey reference, but it started to be different. Definitely started to be different. But for me, the best part of this perfume is the Drydown. The Drydown is where the Tobacco Honey conquered me, because on my skin I started, and I did not see the note breakdown before trying it, and so I had this feeling of, wait, does this have oud? I think this has oud in here. I mean, like, because it started to smell like that chocolatey oud in the Drydown. And I was like, and this was already after 2-3 hours. And I was like, whoa. Okay, wait. Then I went to see the note breakdown, and oud was there. Not chocolate though, but the oud, there are some type of ouds that really have a chocolatey feel. For example, Guerlain Monégal Soul of Oud has a chocolatey oud feel, which I absolutely love. I love oud. So when I start to smell the oud, I was like, okay, this is definitely something new that I was not expecting at all. And yes, so in the end, it was a oud. It was this chocolatey oud that completely conquered me, because you still had the honey. The tobacco was still there, although the honey was not as sweet as it was in the opening and in the heart, but it was still there, in the tobacco as well. And then oud, a chocolatey oud shows up. I was like, I'm sold. I am sold. And so here we have a 200 ml bottle of Tobacco Honey. Now, I did not pay full price because I found an amazing deal online. But so this just to say, it's not worth 455 euros for 200 ml. No, no, not at all. Try to find a deal in Facebook fragrance groups. Maybe you will find a nice deal for Tobacco Honey. Other than that, I mean, unless you really have some money to spend, just wait a bit, because maybe you will find some deals online. But Tobacco Honey is really fantastic. Now, after this first impression, I went to try it once again, and I was always loving it. And I start to love also the opening more, because I was not very impressed. I mean, I really liked the opening and how it was developing into the heart when the tobacco started to show up. But I was like, it kind of reminds me of Tobacco Honey. You know, I always have that. But when I tried it again and again, I was like, wow, this is really great. This is a fantastic scent. The only thing that is the only novelty of this perfume is really the oud. And I mean, I was not expecting at all that Guerlain would pull out like an oud note in here, that it would be even noticeable, and it is, at least on my skin. And so that's why I was completely sold. So that's why I absolutely love Tobacco Honey. For me, is definitely full bottle worthy. It is. Now, if you have already a lot of sweet tobacco fragrances, maybe this will not be anything groundbreaking, which is not. This is not a groundbreaking release. It's not. This is just a fantastic honey tobacco fragrance that has some oud in the Drydown that makes it special. But this is not groundbreaking. You will think of Naxos, you will think of Tobacco Vanille, you might think of even Herod by Parfum de Marly, which I also love. I mean, so in the end, this fragrance is 10 years late. For sure, it's 10 years late. If Guerlain would release this 10 years ago, I think to this day it would be considered like a masterpiece, or even the best sweet tobacco fragrance. Being released in 2023, I mean, it's a fantastic scent, probably the best release of Guerlain in recent years, but it's not like a masterpiece material, let's say. So there is this bittersweet feeling of, it's amazing, it's fantastic, it's super sexy, the performance is amazing, it will last you the entire day and night. The longevity of this and the projection is fantastic. It's super sexy. I mean, really, the honey, natural smelling honey, amazing. But then you have that feeling of, but it's nothing new, you know? It's nothing new. It's been done. Okay, they're adding the oud, which really gives a fantastic touch, but still, you know, you always have that feeling of, if only you would release this fragrance 10 years ago, it would, like, the sensation would be much better. But well, better late than never, especially when Guerlain really pulls out high quality notes, high quality blends. So, I mean, I really cannot complain. I mean, the quality of this fragrance is fantastic. It's really doesn't smell cheap, doesn't smell designer. It is a fantastic, a proper honeyed, sweet tobacco scent with oud. I mean, the oud for me was like really game changing. That's why I ended up buying this bottle. Love this one. Check this one out. At least I think this is worth checking out. Sample it. In the end, you might think of, well, it's not worth it, which is completely fair, especially considering the price tag. So, but at least try it, see for yourself, judge for yourself. Maybe you will be super surprised like I was in the Drydown. But again, this is not something that I would say that it's a masterpiece. This is not groundbreaking. Take your time. Don't really rush to buy it at all. Don't blind buy. Sample it first. It's overpriced, but it's amazing. It's sexy. It's long lasting. So it's really bittersweet perfume, I would say. But yes, I'm very happy to have it, to own it. I already wore it a lot. I mean, it's fantastic. So I really advise you to try this one. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Tell me in the comments down below if you already tried Tobacco Honey. What are your thoughts about this perfume? And see you in the next video. Take care, guys.